We will swarm over them!
What's up, everybody? Destroyer here, and welcome back to another cast of the Lord of the Rings, the Battlefield 2, the Rise of the Witch King, Patch 2.2, version 7. Today we have a 1v1 on Sakura Forest, which, as you can tell just by this little middle part, is a very pretty looking map. But is a map I'd like to see played more often, to be honest. I haven't seen too much replays on it, so it's a cool map. I definitely look forward to seeing more on it in the future, if possible. But let's see who we got in this game today. MayShadowFax, of course, as Isengard, and his opponent is Bosomtwe as Mordor. Cool. Alright, so he's setting up his economy. It looks like he's going for a Haradrim Palace. Let's see what he's going for. MayShadow is going for all eco. Indeed he is. Interesting. This map features warg layers, as you see there. We got more warg layers. And to top it off, we have some cave trolls and some inns on each corner as well. So inn units can be utilized if they so desire, which is cool. Of course, they have to take down the mighty cave troll. And then you get some pretty cool looking temples. Supposed to be part of Rune, as you might have guessed, I suppose. With the runic temples and whatnot. But it's pretty cool. Alright, so we got Eachlings, I'm assuming. Nope, he's upgrading Haradrim Palace to level 2. We'll be having either Corsairs or Haradrim Lancers start, probably. Haradrim Lancers would make sense. For a 1v1 map, it is quite a distance, actually, to get to your opponent. You have to go around here, and then you go through here, you have to go up here, and you have to go all the way around this thing here. Or, of course, you could just go this way and cut up here, which is actually a shorter distance. So there's two ways into the base, but the back way, the top way, is far longer, or the bottom way in this case, if you're going that way. MayShadow's going for a Wildman start, looks like, and another clan setting, so he's going double Wildman, which could be good. Not against Haradrim Lancers, though. So, not so much in that. I did say Haradrim Lancers got a buff when in a different game. They actually didn't get a buff, turns out. Lol. I felt like they did, but they apparently did not. But their voice files at least got changed to be less horribly loud, which is good. It'll still be a great choice, of course, for dealing with Wildman. And that will show MayShadow to start down pretty hard, actually. MayShadow, of course, is realizing this. He's getting an early pit so he can get some cav. Because Wildmen are going to be pretty useless. This way is chosen the Boar Chant, of course. And we have Creebine going for MayShadow to try and nullify a bit of their damage. Long enough for him to get a pikeman unit out and deal with this. But he might be in trouble until then. Bosomtwe is now upgrading to level 3 Haradrim Palace. He's got an orc pit. He gets some orcs on the field. Very nice. He still hasn't actually taken a furnace yet, though. There we go. He's getting the first furnace down. So the Creebine and the Wildmen are slowing him down a bit. And MayShadow losing Wildman is trampling. Probably not bother him too much as long as he can get some pikemen out and keep his farms alive. Wildmen are not expensive, of course. They're only 150, so really they're not. He's not breaking the bank by sending Wildmen to keep these busy. But of course, Bosomtwe is getting power points for doing this, so that will give him a clear little bit advantage in that front, as you might expect. There we go. First battalion of pikes are on the field now. And then MayShadow should be able to fend off the Haradrim Lancers without too much trouble. Here we go. We got very quick Haradrim archers. And of course, he got some orcs now. Circle pit fighting here. It's their little new thing they do in version 7 now. They have little pit fights in their idol, which is pretty cool. It's not a new feature to beef me, of course, but it's been added in version 7 because I don't think it was in version 6. It's been added to all orcs. It's pretty neat. Okay. So now we have a 2 to a tavern. It's not a tavern. I mean, it is a tavern, but it's not a tavern. It's a clan setting. 2 clan settings starts with the Uruks. So he can now diversify his army a bit. But he is going to be up against Roger Archers now, which is going to be pretty challenging, I would expect. Bosomtwe could go for fire as well, which could be good. He's also getting lumber mills, which is nice. And he's now moving out. MayShadow is moving down in the south here. Wildman can be very dangerous left unchecked, of course, because you can give him torches. Or just, even if you don't give him torches, they do get pillage, which steals resources whenever dealing damage to the enemy structure, which is pretty good. As long as Bosomtwe keeps a battalion or 2 of Haradrim Lancers ready to deal with that harassment, he should be okay. I think, at least. Currently, MayShadow's base doesn't have a whole lot of defense in it, it seems. Golem, he is on the map. Looks like some orcs been sent to deal with this. Orcs, of course, won't be beating the Wildman of Dunland anytime soon. Unless, of course, he just keeps running them around. Wildman of Dunland can also stealth in trees, so if he goes into the trees and stops, and the enemy's not paying attention, he can actually hide from the enemy, which is an evil feature for Wildman of Dunland. MayShadow's making a push. This pikeman and his Wildman overpowers those little orc warriors, easy peasy. And now they begin ravaging the farms over here. Meanwhile, Bosomtwe is making his way into the base of MayShadow. MayShadow, of course, doesn't really have anything here at the moment. His builder's thrown up a wall hub to save his life. And the Haradrim Lancers have been brought in from the north to do some eco damage. Sharku has arrived. A good choice, I'd say. Good choice in a bad spot. Maybe get out there. He'd be good against the Haradrim Archers as well as the Cav. So definitely a good choice. He's using the hold ground stance to try and tank as much damage as possible while he cleans up this army. Which he seems to be doing nicely. He's already level 3, look at that. Of course, when Sharku gets level 7, he gets Man-Eater, which is pretty good. 150% damage, 100% armor. It's pretty strong. And now MayShadow has taken the level 3 Haradrim Palace from Bosomtwe, which is a pretty big loss for Bosomtwe. That's the building you don't want to lose, if anyone. There's the level 5 Wildman of Dunland there. Looks like they're not going to make it home. Unless MayShadow's micro is strong. Oh no, not today. The Haradrim Archers were on top of it. So that's going to set Bosomtwe back a little bit, I'd imagine. He does have 1,000 in the bank. He's at 8 power points at the moment. 170 command points at 425. And MayShadow has no money. 256 at 350, and he has 2 power points after getting 2 5s. So it's not that far off. It's like he has 12, which is close enough to what he has, power point wise. Alright, MayShadow's moving out. Chasing down a bear. You know how it is. Could be a secret Bjorning. Who knows? I mean, let's see what's going on in the south. Looks like he's creeping the troll, of course. Classic MayShadow. Creeping trolls, as well as every other player in the world. Classic them as well. So it looks like MayShadow's going to capture this in here. And that will allow him, of course, to build Black Uruks, which is very strong. And they actually could help out quite a bit. They'll definitely outclass these Orc Warriors pretty easily. What's this? We have a Mumakil pen going down for Bosomtwe. Interesting. Well, that could be game changing. Isengard would have trouble dealing with that. We'll find out, I suppose. We do have Gothmog on the field as well for Bosomtwe, which is good. A good addition to any workforce. Is he going to build Black Orcs? Black Orcs have been said to be a bit OP in version 7. I'm kind of inclined to agree a little bit. They had a pretty drastic buff. I think they need a cost increase, personally. I think 350 would be a good cost, in my opinion. Because currently they cost 250, but they've had such a buff that they're really like another tier. So I feel like they should be a bit more expensive to justify that cost for that buff. It's funny. If you zoom in while two of them are doing it, it looks like a pair of teats. Yes, I'm 12, but it's still funny. I find, at least. Alright, Sharku's level 4. He's harassing some farms. And he should be able to continue to do so. If a Moakil does appear, which is on the way, Isengard's best bet to deal with that, of course, would be Porcupine Formation Uruk Pikeman. Axors, I guess, and crossbows, of course. Heroes you're going to want to keep out of there, and Saruman's Fireball helps a bit as well. I mean, Ballista, if you can get him to hit, would probably be pretty good. But I don't know. I haven't seen Ballista used against Mumik very much, I'm going to be honest, so it's hard to say. But it could be good, in theory. Because I've seen siege weapons in general. But those are the fiery ones I've seen hit the Mumik. I've never seen a Ballista hit a Mumik, I'm not sure. Especially with the buff they've experienced. I do like this middle bit. Very scenic. It's a nice spot for a picnic. Or decapitation. Something like that. As long as something's happening there. Alright, Bosomtwe will be aware of his army on the way over here. It's a pretty strong force as well. He does not have a Mumik as of yet, so not too much danger right now. MayShadow, that is, of course. No, Bosomtwe's probably in a lot of danger right now. Sharku's going to be utterly useless against a Mumik as well. I guess if your micro is strong enough, you can get him behind him, a Mumik, and actually start wailing away at the back of it. But it's risky. Heroes against Mumiks are very risky in general. Because, of course, they can just walk right over them and kill them. Or they can charge over them and kill them. It's also something that MayShadows have to keep in mind. The entire army could be obliterated here. Will it be? I have no idea. MayShadow is pulling the wise maneuver and not throwing his army at this. But he did not Porcupine Formation his troops either, it looks like. They take a lot more damage against Porcupine Pikes than they do non, and they will grow them. It's definitely recommended. It's also recommended to use your Mumiks in hold ground stance as well, because they get armor buff. They're going in hold ground stance. They're already slow, so it doesn't really matter. I'm not sure if it was nerfed from version 6 to 7, that part of it. But it's just generally pretty good to do that. They won't auto-target, of course, which is the downside of hold ground stance in general, so you have to micro them manually, as well as the archers on top. I'm pretty sure. But it looks like MayShadow dispatched that Mumik pretty nicely. He did lose a little bit, but not really much, considering what he could have lost. Another one is on the way, though. Sharku's about to bite the big one as well. Looks like he will get out of there. You can also use, of course, aggressive stance to get that 10% speed boost to get out of there. Also, Vision of the Palantir for Isengard. Stacks on top of that. And you can use that to escape as well. This is epic mistake by MayShadow. That could have been avoided. You don't want to just line up your troops like that against a Mumik. That was pretty bad. But now that Mumik's got some sweet war paint, so that's pretty cool. I do like that skin for the Mumik. Particularly cool. Alright, so we got lots of axe swords, we got pikes here, crossbows as well. So he's really banking on the axe swords. I mean, if you're going to go in on axe swords, you might as well get upgrades for them. You can upgrade the axe swords forged blades, which is pretty good. Also really helps taking down buildings really quickly. Quite nice. Definitely helping. It's kind of his, looks like it's all in here on the Mumik. I feel like I'm watching a replay of myself at the moment. It's fantastic. I don't know if that's good or bad. But it's nice to see someone else appreciate the glorious giant elephant. They also walk right over trees, of course, as you expect. MayShadow does have a much scarier force, though. He has potential to do a lot of damage. It's just a matter of, can he not lose everything to a Mumik? It's the question. So we have another one. Gothmog's also on the field, and another Mumik's queued up. Jesus. Nice. He's also going for a great siege works. MayShadow currently not going... Oh, he is going for something else. He's going for Deathbringers. Interesting. I think Deathbringers can't be trampled by Mumik? I could be wrong. I found that was a problem with Age of the Ring. The Deathbringers couldn't be trampled. Or they're Manslayers, but they were basically Deathbringers. They said they're based on the 2.02 Deathbringer, so I'm assuming they have the same... Or maybe they have to get level 2 to be able to get it. That's possible. And the Mumik won't be able to walk over them or something. I have no idea. I'd have to test that out. It's a possibility, though. Deathbringer really is a horribly designed unit. Look at that thing. That sword does not fit in this universe. It's like a World of Warcraft blade from Illidan. Literally does. Oh, no. Okay, at level 1 you can walk over them pretty easily. There's science for you. I like that. So I'm wondering if you get level 2, if that does any difference. No idea. But don't send them right after a Mumik. That would be unwise. We got a level 2 Mumik there, level 1 Mumik there. He's got a lot of Mumiks. That's going to be making it very difficult for MayShadow to get anywhere here. MayShadow definitely has the right composition, though. He has lots and lots of archers. That's what you really need. Well, he lost a couple battalions of Exors, but the Exors that are remaining are doing a lot of damage. I definitely think upgrades would benefit him greatly, taking this thing down quickly. Also, everything else in general. Upgrades are just good. Especially his Eisen. Quick upgrades usually not unfeasible for Eisen, of course. He's using his porcupine formation goals now. But of course, Bosomtwe has gone into catapults as well, which is going to be pretty big against these Exors. Ooh, the Deathbringer's proven they can take down some Mumiks. Very nice. As long as they aren't actually being focused down, I guess, walked over. They do a lot of damage. So if you can get them behind or on the side of a Mumik, it will bring them down pretty nicely. But MayShadow definitely clearly has control of the game. He's probably got control of the map mostly, I'd say, as well. He's really just kind of cramped into his base, going for Mumiks. And it's working so far, but I don't think it's going to win in the game is the only thing. Some Black Radish would be pretty good as well. We can get some of those, maybe. But look at the damage Deathbringers do. It's pretty nuts. I think May is proving the value of the Deathbringer at this point. In this matchup. In this grouping of units, I suppose. Alright, more Deathbringers have arrived. More crossbows and axe throwers. More streaming in by the minute. He's also got a defense force. Just chilling here. Not sure why he isn't going for upgrades. It's not like he can't. He's just opting not to do so. He's also going for alerts, which can help against Mumiks as well, of course. He has a bow. Of course, just like the Deathbringers, if he gets on the side and uses Carnage, he can do a pretty good amount of damage to Mumik as well. But you do run the risk of getting stepped on, so something to keep in mind. But he's continuing on the path of the Mumik, which is fine, I suppose. He's got 2 catapults orcs as well. I think MayShadow has like a insane amount of axe throwers. Okay, there's a Wildman Dominance summon. He is also... That was weird. I think he's expecting a charge or something, maybe. But he did summon the Wildman Dominance right in the middle of his army, so he could hit it right at the War Chains. There's the Worm summon from Bosomtwe. Will that be enough to save him? Not so sure. Goth Monk's also here, he's level 4. Bringing down catapults. Also, Worm's probably going to die to the army that MayShadow has sent here. And indeed it does. Very nice. He survived a worm. I think if he deals with this last mimic, he will have this game in the bag. They charge for miles. But Bosomtwe is making a huge mistake by not using full ground stance. The armor boost does help. But he still managed to clean up somehow. But of course, more are on the way, as expected. I think at this point MayShadow should have went for ballistas into upgrades. Does he need to? Probably not. Should he have? Probably. Could have easily thrown a siege works. Oh, okay, there. He is going for upgrades. Okay. Good. Well then, never mind on the upgrade part. Ballistas still be pretty good though. I think we gotta move it going out through the bottom here. I'm just gonna try and engage that. It's a wall for him. Charge is absolutely insane. Well, I dealt with that. Looks like some Deathbringers have been dispatched to deal with this menace. No, he got the damage. An aggressive stance. He gives no shits. Very nice. I like the Deathbringer play. It's good. They're countering mimics pretty well. All you gotta do is dodge the bullet, and then you're good. Couple more mimics on the field. We got industry, of course, going on that farm there. More catapults and mimics on the way. Orcs as well. These farms are leveling. This looks like my kind of map if I was gonna play 1v1. Because it's not very just straight shot into the enemy's base. You have 2 options instead of just like 3. Since I'm a more single-minded person who generally sends all those guys through one outlet, having only 2 to worry about would be pretty good. I bet you could probably set some siege weapons there. Use the aggressive stance. Probably hit some buildings easily from here. Up this hill, so all you have to do is defend here. Some units, set some siege up here, start hitting the base. I thought it would be a thing. Alright, MayShadow's starting to throw on some upgrades now. Very nice. The armor probably not necessary, but it does help. It's not going to help against movements, of course. Forward plays is probably the one should be on first, I'd expect. So he can kill those before they kill him. There. Armor, not so useful against a mimic. It does help against the archers on top though. So they're taking quite a much longer time to die now because of that. We got a zoo over here. Mimics, kind of weird shit. Little Clerks 2. He's level 7 now. He has Main Eater. Very nice. Ooh, he's almost dead. Very close. I would absolutely laugh if Bosomtwe managed to win this game with mimics like this. That would be absolutely nuts. I mean, it is possible. If he pushes out with a strong force and pushes back MayShadow, it is possible he can win this match. Some of these mimics will heal, of course. This one will. It seems at level 3 they get healing. At Level 2 they do not. And of course at level 1 they do not. That's not level 1 though. Is it? No. So I guess ideally you want to get your movements to level 3 at least, so you can start healing automatically. Because Mordor of course doesn't have any healing abilities in Rise of the Witch King. So the best you're going to get is that. Also, if you want to really increase your movement production in version 7, you would go for the Untamed Allegiance. You can cast it on a Mumiko pen and it'll decrease the build time by 50% or something like that. In addition to capturing layers, so it has another use, if you didn't know about that. So you could use the Mumiko pen or the Troll Cage, anything that builds monsters. And it'll speed up the production of the unit, which is pretty cool, for like a minute or whatever it is. Probably longer than that, maybe shorter than that, I don't know the actual time it takes to do so. Damn. This move's getting a lot of kills. Looks like the guys on top also level up. They're level 2, it seems. Coming on over here. Our movement has fallen. Wildman Dunlin summon thing has gone off. This movement has been set aflame. That's a bit of a buggy one. It's dead. Very suddenly. Well, it seems Bosomtwe in a bit of danger. Now the Axlors have upgrades, they're going to be much more dangerous against the base. As you see, they do quite a bit of damage with their axes now. Structures. And units alike. It will be a danger. This one's level 4, it's almost level 5. And he's almost healed up all the way as well. It's pretty nice. So if you can get your mooks to survive, they can actually become a self-healing monster machine, which is pretty nice. Majority of mimics have 1 to 2 charge, and then they're going to get killed usually. So you get just kind of, I usually just throw them to their deaths, take as many units as possible. And of course saving their lives if you can is always ideal, because then you can do it again. Catapults are definitely helping as well, but if he is going to use those, you definitely need something in the front. Axlors are pretty good against catapults as well, actually. At least with the upgrades. As crossbows would be pretty worthless, I would expect. There's one move down. The level 4 one is being microed away. Looks like he treasures that one. Can't blame him. MayShadow's definitely in control. There goes the arrow of light. We're setting the ground on fire now. Cause MayShadow to flee. Flee for your lives! Okay, there's a level 5 mimic. Glad to see the day. I've seen him before, of course, but not very often do you see a level 5 mimic. Unless they just absolutely get this ridiculous charge over a lot of expensive stuff. Which does happen, of course. Many heroes have fallen victim to the Mumikil's trample. MayShadow, of course, as we see, is in no danger of losing this match. There's nothing really threatening him. There's a sneaky little catapult going over here. Not sure what one catapult's going to accomplish, but, you know, I appreciate the effort, I suppose. I want to see Lord's 1v1 Mumik. Probably not going to happen. How about a bear? No? Okay. Bear's not interested. I don't blame him. Alright, we're basically in the wait for Bosomtwe to die to MayShadow eventually train, I think. I don't know how much longer he can pull this off for. See power-wise what's going on here. MayShadow eventually will get something big, power-wise, and then decimate him. Even without it, I think we'll decimate him probably. And we're gonna go for glory. Doesn't value too much. You gotta be careful with catapults. If you're too tall, your own catapults will hit your own movement hill. You gotta be careful. Worm is doing huge damage, holy crap. Well, there you go. Fended that off pretty easily. Just a worm, a couple mimics. He's really going to town with his own mimic. Unfortunate. MayShadow would have had this easy if he just built some ballista. They're not that bad in this patch. And they definitely would have sped this process up a bit. But he's opting to do this to just troops, I suppose. For whatever reason. God is actually paying dearly. I don't know if Bosomtwe knows about the stance changes. Because catapults can fire even further in aggressive stance. If they're not in any danger, there's no reason not to put them in aggressive stance. So that's one of the big changes, of course, of Siege in version 7. Is the aggressive stance gives you 10% more range, something like that. It's not a huge amount, but it does make a difference, believe it or not. Pretty big difference, in fact, a lot of the time. So I definitely recommend putting your siege weapons in aggressive. Then you have to get too close to the enemy. Things are just gonna sit there and take a beating for whatever reason. That would be an interesting ending to the game. Sauron. Sauron, of course, does not get trampled by Muvik at all, so he would be a good counter to that, I suppose. Alright, I'm gonna fast forward just a smidge, because at this point nothing really is happening. Just MayShadow building up for an inevitable pushback again. I mean, he is showing the vulnerability, though, of Eisen 2 Mumik, potentially, though. Because Eisen doesn't have really high-tier archers that can shoot from far away. Like everyone else does, pretty much. They do have to rely on close-range axe throwers and crossbows. But, of course, you do have crossbows, which he's not actually utilizing much. Crossbows and fire arrows do pretty good damage against Mumik. But axe throwers, of course, are pretty good. They're cheap, as well as they do good damage to buildings, which is more useful, I feel. There goes the Mumik pen. There will be no more Mumiks for Bosomtwe. He's upgrading his fort. I think he's either going to go for the Gorgon Spire, one last hurrah, or he's just getting armor for his fort. It's hard to say. Just gonna get our barrage up. This is level 5 Mumik. It is. It's still alive somehow. It's in level 3 now as well. Oh, I think looks going to die to the Horror Archers on top. Nope. Very lucky. And of course, this is another way Mumik can deal with pikemen. You don't want to walk over them, just stop and hit them in the face. It works pretty well without having to take trample damage. Of course, you will have to take a few swings because they don't kill everybody right away. But yeah, this game should have been in the bag a while ago. It's just a fun game, really. It clearly is a fun game, but sometimes it's what we need to do. But also sometimes it's frustrating when you know something could happen easily, but you just like, why didn't you just do this? You know, it'd be really good, actually. A mine. Not something most players would think about. I think mines are very undervalued in Beef Me in general. You don't see them in Beef Me 2. You don't see them in Rise of the Witch King much. When Isengard plays Isengard. Doesn't make sense. When players play Isengard, they don't use mines. They can be tricky to pull off. But at the same time, when they do pull them off, they're pretty damaging. Wouldn't be too hard at this point to get a mine up to Bosomtwe's base, I think. Also in version 7, you can use the Palantir speed boost to actually speed up mines. I've done it myself. It's a glorious effect. It's quite fun. And Berserkers with torches are supposed to get a speed bonus when they use their torch. With a damage debuff, I believe. When they think they take more archer damage. They're supposed to, at least. I don't think it's working, though, properly. I've heard a bug report, at least. So it's potentially not a thing that you can really utilize to get the Berserker in there, but you, of course, can use the Vision Intelligence on the Berserker as well. Speed him up. So that could be a thing. Will this last Mimic fall? The last of his ilk? Indeed it does. Falls to alerts. He has another Mimic open. You're kidding me, right? Well, fast forward time, I think. There's a lot of downtime, it seems, at the end of this game for some reason. Oh, I fast forwarded right past the Gorgoroth Spire. Oh well. But at this point, I think I've seen enough of the gimmick, and I just want to see the game end. Like, just taking its sweet time. MayShadow's doesn't want siege. He needs siege, and it's frustrating. I mean, that'll do it. Cool. Okay. Apparently Sauron's here. He says, build me an army with the immortal. It's pretty cool. Like that. Nice touch. Also plays a nice music file, of course, when Sauron comes out, but I have my music disabled in game, so you'll never hear that. On my channel, at least. To add the game music in post. That's fun. But Sauron will, of course, be the end all. Oops. Somehow I ended up over there. Fast forward a smidge. There we go. Sauron isn't exactly known for his speed. Oh yeah, when he comes out, he of course casts darkness over the map. That's why they have darkness on their sails. Fires Dune. Ooh. I've also noticed that I think someone increased the knockback of Sauron's abilities, because whenever you hit something, they go flying. And of course, they always went flying before, but like now they really go flying. Is Misha really going to lose Sauron to Gothmog? Gothmog and the fortress are wrecking Sauron. Oh, never mind. He needs to finish that fort before he dies. He does have to wait for his attack animations to reset though. You can't just click Sauron and click the fort, and when he's done swinging, click the fort again and get him to reset his attack animation. That's been fixed, of course. That was fixed a while ago. Wasn't a thing in version 6 either, but in the old patches of Beef Me Too, you could do that. There you go. I even saw some ballista shots in there. He finally caved in and got a ballista. Well, there you go. A ridiculous game. It's fun though. I liked the Mumakil play, I'm not gonna lie. But definitely was not enough to deal with MayShadow's complete control of that game, I feel like. So it was a good effort. But MayShadow could have ended that much sooner, I feel like. If you just spot some ballista, I think. Or tried some cheeky mind play. You know? More players need to play with minds. Discover the power. Or something. Sure. Put it on the coffee mug, it'll go well. Anyway, that has been a cast of Rise of the Witch King 2.2 version 7. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.